Hello, Michigan. Greetings from New York. I guess it's not too hard to figure out that's where I come from with this accent. Let me start off by saying that to get here, I flew in a plane built with union hands, with a flight crew that was union, got in a rented car that was built with union hands, with gasoline in the tank that was refined by union hands, and that's exactly how we intend to keep it. Now, let me make a little declaration here also before I go further. I'm sure we have a number of teachers out there in the audience. All right, for all those teachers that gave me such a good education, this message goes out to them. I have no notes. I have not reading from anything. And as a testament to my teachers, I can correctly pronounce that I will be speaking extemporaneously. Thank you. Now, for anybody who doesn't know or is familiar with the Utility Workers Union, I think most people are, but you have a connection to us every day. Every time you flip on a light switch, you adjust your thermostat, you turn on a faucet, you've made a connection with the utility workers. We supply gas, electric, steam, and water to towns and cities from coast to coast in this country, and we are united like never before with the rest of the labor movement. We're not going to take what's going on in this country. It's a nationwide movement to snuff out organized labor, and we're not going to let it happen. I've been in rallies in Ohio, in Manhattan, and pretty much the same thing. People are outraged at what's going on. To take collective bargaining rights away from folks. In this state, also, for our buddy Rick, right, to attack education as well. So attack people's pensions. So let me see if I got this right, Rick. In Michigan, the key to success is don't give anybody an education, don't give them a chance to make a decent living, and don't let them get an opportunity to retire with dignity. Is that what we're supposed to accept from this governor or any governor? No. You know, I'd like to say it completely here, but probably wouldn't be appropriate. But the only thing I can think of is when I hear the word Rick, there's another word that rhymes with it. Rick is a real, but I won't say it. You know, being from New York, this year will be the 10th anniversary of 9/11. And those attacks on the Pentagon, and the plane went down in Pennsylvania, and certainly the attacks on the World Trade Center are still fresh in every American's mind. This wasn't an attack on New York City or Washington, D.C. It was an attack on the country. And down after those buildings came down, a lot of our members were down there restoring the electric and the steam. We're first responders. We're lucky we didn't lose any members down there that day. But along with all the innocent lives that were lost, there were a lot of heroes that gave up their lives. Right? Cops, firemen, electricians in the building. Matter of fact, 343 firemen went in. I didn't think this was going to happen.
Hold together, brother. That's good.
And they never came out because I have a connection with a lot of those folks. But there was something that happened in the aftermath of that attack. And for a time anyway, workers, as I saw it, all over the country, who came in from all over the country to pitch in and work on that rubble and try to find anybody alive in the first few days, and then go to a rescue effort, from a rescue effort to an effort of just to pull out dead bodies and to clear the rest of the debris. The workers were looked upon as heroes. I remember driving up from Ground Zero and people applauding us. I was a union rep, went down to visit our folks down there to see how they were doing. They certainly appreciated it. But again, folks from all over the country came down there. Do you think these governors in these states would be making these attacks on public workers or workers at all on the day after 9/11, the day it happened? Of course not. All right? 10 years later, we find ourselves in a battle now, right? With these governors trying to rip apart work rights that we won over the years through blood and sweat. You know, the sign of a civilized society is free trade unions. When we get to a point where a country is trying to do away with those rights, we're no longer a civilized society. Right? Many of you probably know, right, back in Nazi Germany, the trade unions went to Adolf Hitler. They said, hey, we want to have our May Day celebration. They had a discussion with him on May 1st, right, or prior to May 1st, May Day. We want to have a May Day celebration. He said, sure, go out and celebrate. They had their May Day celebration. May 2nd, 1933, he arrested all the union leaders, outlawed unions. This is the type of country that this is becoming if we don't continue to stand up like all you good people are doing today and come out in force and keep this up. This is a battle that won't be won overnight. This is something that has to keep going on and on and on. One thing we got going for us, at least as I can see right now, at least is we don't have to go to what our forefathers did. We don't have to be worried about being gunned down in the streets or being brutally beaten up. Right? In that sense, we can come out. If anybody tries, they're going to be a big surprise, I guess, for all of us. But we don't have to worry about that. We can come out and keep doing this. Right? And we're going to keep doing this. Because if we don't, the radical right wing will have their way. All right? But what I see in this country is little by little, everybody's getting the big picture. They're seeing those that have little getting taxed more, and those that have more getting taxed little. Right? You see that the wealth distribution shifting. CEOs making 500 times more than the average worker. The average worker's pay going down while CEOs' pay is going up. There's something wrong in this country. There is something wrong, and people are waking up every single day. It was mentioned earlier by one of the other speakers. Our own members, for far too long, some of them have been voting against their own best interest. But now they've all come in and they've taken the covers off themselves, and we all know what they're all about now. They didn't decide to go chip away little by little. In a way, I'm glad they brought it on. We know what they're all about now. They've exposed themselves for being the union buses that they really are. We all know that. There's no more secrets. You know, where I come from, a guy like Rick Snyder, if he lived in New York, he'd be trying to sell the Brooklyn Bridge to tourists. Right? But nobody here is going to buy the Brooklyn Bridge from him, and nobody here is going to buy his bill of goods that he's trying to push inside this building. And he's not going to get away with it. The corporate bosses in this country are taking over. The Supreme Court last year opened the floodgates, turned 100 years of jurisprudence on its head, and said that you, corporations, you now are citizens. You're going to get the same free speech rights as citizens. You can spend as much money in these elections as you want. The last set of midterm elections was more money spent in that set of midterm elections than the past 4 or 5 combined. All right? This is what's going on. And so all of these politicians now, because these corporations are being treated like people, they think that they're the people. They don't realize that we're the people. We're the people. We are 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 the people. And we always talk about the American dream. I stand before you as a son of immigrants. My mother and father immigrated from Ireland. They came here with a dream to look for a better life, and they got it. They were both union members. My father worked for the local telephone company, and my mother was the woman that served you sandwiches in the public school with the hairnet. And I'll never forget the day she came home from work. She was just bubbling with joy. I was just a little kid. And I said, "Mom, what are you so happy about?" And she said, "Johnny, the union got me a pension." I'll never forget that day. But what's going on in this country isn't a fight. The battle and the fight isn't isolated to unions. They're trying to stamp out unions. Yes, we know that. And we know that if they were ever successful, the livelihoods of everybody else in this country will suffer as well. We're the benchmark. We're the ones that set that bar so that other folks can make a decent living too, whether or not they're a union. They ride our coattails successfully. We can't let that happen. This is an attack on education. And out in Michigan, they want to do away with the cap on earnings for vouchers for private schools. So that if you're a millionaire who's been sending your kid to a private school, well, guess what? You're going to help fund that kid's education for the millionaire, while they take money out of public education. Is that right? You're damn right it's not right. That's 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 not right. Now, I mentioned about a little piece of sorry history 10 years ago down in New York. And not very far from that site is where the real scene of the crime is taking place now, right? And that's Wall Street. They sold a bunch of toxic loans to all these pension funds that were doing well before Wall Street was deregulated. They came across, they sold a bill of goods to these pension funds that were doing fine, and now the pension funds are hurting, and now it's your fault? I don't think so. This type of thing can't go on, and it won't go on. So I just want to sum up by thanking all of you for coming out. The utility workers stand strong. We stand proud with everybody here in Michigan. On behalf of all the utility workers throughout the country and the thousands of utility workers that work right here in Michigan, we're out here to remind Rich Snyder that we are the people. 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 Thank you very much. God bless you, and thank you for coming out.